Gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Bishop.
The gentleman from Michigan is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Chairman Brady for his steadfast leadership in finding a solution to this crisis. I rise in strong support for H.R. 6, the Support for Patients and Communities Act. I'm pleased that we're voting on this legislation today, which includes important reforms to Medicare and Medicaid policies to help combat the opioid crisis in our country. Mr. Speaker, the opioid crisis has affected every segment of our nation's population. Every member of this chamber has a community in crisis. And each and every day, 115 Americans die from opioid overdoses. We're talking about valued members of our communities, mothers, fathers, and especially so many young children who have left us way too early because of the tragedy of opioids. As I travel across my district in Michigan, I hear frequently from constituents about the crisis. At town hall meetings and roundtables I've hosted, I've heard personal stories from constituents about this devastating impact and the crisis is having in Southeast Michigan. I've also been meeting with elected officials from across the district on the crisis regarding firefighters, police officers, emergency responders, medical professionals, and they all want me to do something and do it urgently, and Congress to be involved. And while there's no silver bullet to address the issue, I'm pleased that over the past several weeks the House has passed over 70 bills to address the opioid crisis. It includes the legislation that I authored, the STOP Act, to stop the flow of synthetic opioids into the country. And H.R. 6 will do more than on Medicare coverage for opioid treatment services like substance abuse counseling, individual and group therapy, medication-assisted treatment. And these reforms will empower our Americans to overcome addiction and once again become productive members of our society. Again, I want to thank Chairman Brady and Chairman Walden for their leadership, for crafting this legislation, and for their steadfast leadership to address the opioid crisis. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Texas.